Welcome to episode number 370 of the Beyond Social Media Show, the podcast for all of you marketing, advertising, public relations, and communications professionals. You can find us by searching for Beyond Social Media Show. We are recording on January 29, 2022, and a lot of things to talk about this week as usual, including Neil Young splitting Spotify, bowling alley fly-through, classic guitar NFTs, the first Super Bowl ad teasers are out, M&M's mascots, clueless influencers, Twitter's done with election lies, defining a view, and stick around for some stats about social audio spending. But we kick it off with best story of the week, and DL has that honor. DL, what's the best story of the week?
Well, this is a power to the people story. This week, Neil Young said that because they carry Joe Rogan, the conspiracy theorist, Joe Rogan, excuse me, that he was going to ask Spotify to take his music off the platform, and was a battle cry for multiple iconic musicians and thousands of subscribers, including me, in support of him leaving Spotify. So this is from an Ars Technica story by Tim DeShant, and he asked the streaming service to remove his music from their library because of COVID misinformation by Joe Rogan. And he said, I want to let Spotify know immediately today that I want all my music off the platform. They can have Rogan or they can have Young, not both. And 53,000 people responded to Angela Bellicamino's tweet, which asked who else wants Spotify to delete Joe Rogan and keep Neil Young. And the hashtag delete Spotify trended, and Neil Young recommended right away a 4-month free Amazon promo for music, and his music came off Spotify, and Spotify's stock tanked 12% in 1 week. They had to shut down their human customer service because they had way too many complaints. And yesterday, Sirius XM announced that it's countering Spotify's decision to remove Neil Young by bringing back and promoting his Neil Young radio station on its streaming platform. And then Saturday night, Joni Mitchell said, I decided to remove all my music from Spotify. Irresponsible people are spreading lies that are costing people their lives. I stand in solidarity with Neil Young and the global scientific and medical communities. Now it's followed by Willie Nelson, Peter Frampton, Green Day, Foo Fighters, and lots more, and more all the time. And Lucy agrees too.
Joni Mitchell.
Joni Mitchell today, yeah.
I had a friend who, there's a great Slate article on this, by the way. Neil Young, I don't know about the others who are removing their music from Spotify, but Neil Young had a backup plan because he has long been an advocate of different streaming technology because the sound quality is crap according to him, right? So he's been advocating building this great new technology that has better sound quality for online music. But he also has a subscription site where he apparently makes $600,000 a month. So,
no shit.
So he's got a backup plan on his.
But in terms of better way of listening to music, I went to hear Bob Weir talk about that. I would say that was 10 years ago, and they were talking about, we listen to music on our computers now. The music is the sound is terrible, which it certainly is, and that still hasn't happened. But now CDs are back.
Well, vinyl's back too. They are selling vinyl albums at Target.
I never got rid of mine.
Wow. So I had a friend who tweeted, Spotify don't want Neil Young around anyhow. Right? So Spotify chose Leonard Skinner over Neil Young, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I bet Leonard Skinner won't be there for long. Willie
probably
Nelson
agree with
too.
him.
Yeah, Willie Nelson too.
Yeah.
But people are down on Bob Dylan and Bruce Springsteen, but they sold their catalogs. They don't control their music anymore.
It's part of the problem of selling your catalogs, right?
Well, hey, if I could make $500 gazillion for selling my work, I'd do it in a hot second.
Yeah.
It's available.
Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, mine has nothing to do with this, and it's awesome. And I can't believe I haven't talked about it until now because I just discovered it, and it happened in March of 2021. So I'm late to this party, but glad to join it. Bryant Lake Bowl is an institution in Minneapolis. It is just this place that everybody goes to. And they created the most amazing piece of video marketing I have ever seen for a bowling alley / restaurant / bar / mini movie theater. It's amazing. So they uploaded it in March of 2021 to YouTube. And the reason I'm surprised I haven't heard of it, because it got a lot of local media coverage at the time, but it was also covered by the New York Times, the New York Post.
How'd you miss that?
I don't know.
Are you not a bowler? You don't go bowling?
I don't go bowling a lot, but still, I mean, I should have heard about it. It was in the BBC, the Irish Examiner, GameSpot. I mean, tons of coverage. So
well, now it's on the Beyond Social Media show.
Exactly. The reason why it got tons of coverage is because it was shot entirely with drone footage. So you start outside of the Bryant Lake Bowl at night and swoop in through the front door as two guys are entering the bowling alley. You follow a bowling ball from a customer's hand as it rolls down the lane, and then it flies up behind the lanes, and you see the bowling pins being reset. And then you pass, it goes back out into the lanes, and you pass between the legs of some guy who's polishing his ball. And it's right out of the scene, the John Turturro scene out of the Big Lebowski. You eavesdrop on some bowlers that are saying, this is bowling, there are rules. You fly by a toast among friends who are cheering each other. There's a friendly argument at the bar. You fly through the tiny movie theater that is at Bryant Lake Bowl, and for some reason, there's a blow-up doll sitting in one of the seats, and then it closes as you follow a bowling ball making a perfect strike. So just one, mad piloting skills for the drone operator.
A blow-up doll?
Yeah, I don't know why, but there you go. But the video just, amazing piloting skills for the drone operator. The audio engineering is fantastic because it was done post the eavesdropping on the conversations was done post production. It was directed by a guy named Jay Christensen, who's a local videographer. The video was uploaded, as I said, March 7, 2021. It has 2.2 million views as of today. 2,200 comments, 45,000 likes, and 0 dislikes.
Wow,
So
never see that.
Even the notorious YouTube trolls were like, hey, it's pretty good.
That's funny. That's really funny. So this is about guitars, and as we can see, you love yours. And Gibson is offering NFTs of its classic guitars, and they're joining Keith Richards and Julian Lennon. And Julian Lennon just did something really interesting. So these are stories from Finder and also Variety from Ron Prichard and Jem Aswad and Cillian Brethnak. And Gibson has filed trademark paperwork with the patent office for 6 of its guitar shapes, including the Flying V and the Les Paul. And it says the trademark will cover the categories of downloadable multimedia files containing artwork, text, audio, and video, which is exactly what an NFT is. And they're going to be non-fungible tokens. But what Julian Lennon is doing is really interesting because he has historical context in his offering. And so he's offering one-of-a-kind collectibles. He retains the physical object, but he adds personal narration to it. And I like this because it has historical context. And the items themselves are not being auctioned. And they're unique, they're non-interchangeable units of data, and they're one-to-one additions. So that's kind of cool because, it's something people will want, and then all the money's going to benefit his White Feather Foundation that purchases carbon removal from nori in the form of non-nori carbon removal tones. And Keith Richards partnered with the green NFT platform, which has a less energy using way of producing these things. And he's also auctioning his off for charity. And so I think this is an interesting development, and Keith Richards was minted on Tezos, which is a decentralized open source blockchain that uses proof of stake instead of proof of work, and it reduces the energy costs. So, bidding is going to conclude on January 30th, tomorrow, for Keith Richards, and the price currently is $4,500, and proceeds go to Music Cares. So I think that's very cool.
Yep. For $4,500, I'll buy my own classic guitar.
Okay,
Fine with
well,
that.
that's you.
Yes, it is. All right. On our Big Lebowski theme, here's another story. This is from Adweek's Jameson Fleming. Anheuser Busch has purchased 4 minutes of Super Bowl airtime to feature 6 brands during the Super Bowl, including Budweiser, Michelob Ultra, Bud Light Next, Cutwater Spirits, Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, and Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, none of which I will ever drink in my entire life.
Me either.
But beer commercials are pretty good typically, so yeah, I'll be entertained by the beer commercials. So here's,
I'll watch them online.
So Michelob Ultra is the first of these brands to release teasers for their Super Bowl. The spots feature the Electric Light Orchestra song Showdown. And the opening shot of the first teaser looks like it was lifted right out of the movie The Big Lebowski. It's a outdoor at night shot of a bowling alley, and that shouldn't surprise because Steve Buscemi is behind the counter working the bowling alley in the second teaser. Buscemi,
I love him.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He of course starred in The Big Lebowski, which is centered. The story revolves around the Hollywood star Lane's bowling alley. Another spot features former quarterback Peyton Manning, who picks up an orange bowling ball. He played for the Denver Broncos. Orange is their team, so maybe there's a tie there. And then the final teaser shows an unknown bowler tying their shoes. I'm looking forward to them. They're teasers, of course, so who knows? But it is a good way of drawing interest for a Super Bowl spot. If you're going to buy up 4 minutes of Super Bowl time, that's pretty costly spend. You want people to watch your ads.
4 minutes, holy camole, that's a very costly spend.
Yep.
Yeah, so that brings us to worse news, huh?
It does.
Well, this is about the M&M Mascot makeovers, and I should add the Minnie Mouse makeover as well. So the cast of candy characters at M&M's has had this huge makeover, and they say it better reflects the diverse, nuanced world of its fans. And Rolling Stone says Mars Wrigley is trying to make the green M&M wear Larry David's sneakers, and we will not stand for it. So, and the headline in the Rolling Stone article is "Let the green M&M be a nasty little slut." And so there was a very sexy M&M's ad with her. So this is from Rolling Stone and Ad Age, as John Springer and EJ Dixon. And I mean, what they did was they took the green M&M who was wearing high heels, and now she's wearing sneakers, and they made the kind of goofy, nasty brown one nicer, and they thought he was a bully. And I mean, it's just, and then Minnie Mouse, for Christ's sake, is now wearing a plaid pantsuit. And I'm sorry, but Minnie Mouse should wear her little red and white dress. She's Minnie Mouse.
I clearly did not pay enough attention to the M&M commercials over the many years that they've been running, because I never realized they had very distinct personalities until Pam pointed out to me, like, I didn't know one was, I guess one's dumb, one's not too right. Yeah, it was lost.
Yeah, one's really dumb. He's trying to put the something inside the M&M by pushing it in there, and then the green one is like, there's a really sexy ad that she's in where she's like in this chocolate, is very sensual, and apparently that offended some people, if you can imagine an M&M offending people.
Still, I don't see what's so wrong with Larry David's sneakers. I mean, come on.
Well, she was a sexy female
so maybe
character.
She just doesn't feel like being sexy right now.
Oh, come on. This is
It's her off day. Let her
this is
relax.
taking diversity a little bit over
It's
the
her off
edge.
day. Let her relax. Come
Oh,
on.
come on.
All right. So we do influencer marketing at Thunheim, the agency I work at. And the process is you identify, client wants to do influencer marketing, you identify and vet influencers who will fit what the client wants. Might be a foodie influencer, fashion or beauty, lifestyle, sports, B2B influencer, depends. So you go out and you find out who might be a good fit for the client. That typically includes they want a certain followership and engagement rate. They're looking at specific channels they want an influencer to be popular on. Could be a geographic requirement. So you go out and you start reaching, you identify some who fit your parameters. You start reaching out and vetting them. Are they interested? Do they have capacity? Do they have a media kit? After you do your initial vetting, you come back to the client with your list of here's some candidates we're thinking of. You prioritize your list, you have backups, and then you go back to your narrowed list and you have conversations with them. You hear their ideas about how they'd approach the campaign, you discuss costs, and then ultimately it comes down to you create a contract for them. But here's the thing, anyone can be an influencer, of course. As long as you're capable of building a large enough audience, you can try and monetize that audience by becoming an influencer. Doesn't mean you have a clue about how to make money as an influencer. And as you do influencer marketing, that'll become apparent as you're reaching out. Some of these people just, they haven't got their shit together yet. So, you can have a slick looking media kit, but if you don't understand, how to work with brands, how to work with the agencies to represent brands, you're probably not going to go very far. So this is a bit of a rant about that, right? Get your shit together, influencers. So I've had influencers object to the requirement that we want to post on a specific date. And, that's fine. You can sometimes move around and stuff, but sometimes the campaigns are based on specific dates, and that's part of the deal. I've had influencers who did not know what boosting a post was. So, if you don't know how to boost a post, you haven't got the advertising infrastructure in place for us to help you, extend the reach of what we want to do. I've also had an influencer object to a requirement to provide screenshots of the analytics of their sponsored content. And
isn't that part of the contract?
It is part of the contract, but they come back and say, well, we don't like that. And the reasoning is one of them is the clients will expect the post to perform a certain way.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point. And they typically don't provide the analytics beyond what is public because the algorithm is very complex and brands typically don't understand. So you're going to that's ultimately what you're doing is you're insulting the intelligence of either a brand, if you're telling that to the brand, or the representative of the brand, which in this case is me. I don't need you to tell me how complex the algorithm is, please. And it's a huge red flag, right? You don't want to share a screenshot of why am I going to work with you if you are secret dodgy about that, right? And then typically another thing was mentioned is posts typically don't perform as well when they're flagged as paid sponsorship or paid partnerships, which also I'm going to run afoul of the FTC if you're not willing to include that stuff in your post.
That's a law.
Yeah. So, if you're a budding influencer, learn how to work with brands, understand, what their needs are, understand what and get a clue.
So Dave, how do you find the influencers to begin with?
So, there's sometimes you just go search for them, you search online, you find what channel they're on. So I've done YouTube influencer campaigns where you just search YouTube for the type of influencer you're looking for, and you get a list and you check them out. They usually have other digital channels, so you look at their whole digital footprint. Other times we've used services that have basically their search engines for
there's also
influencers.
Agencies that represent these people. A lot of them have agents.
Yeah, so it's and then depending on what your client needs, you're going to pay a lot but if they're going to be a lot easier to work with, and there's going to probably have a lot better results if they're a professional influencer and have a clue. The where you run into the clueless ones is, they're new and they don't know what they're doing, and in that case, be humble and be willing to work with people. But that's a good opportunity for brands too, if they're starting out and it looks like they've got
Can
potential.
build with somebody.
Build
Sure.
with somebody, yep.
Yeah, but they need some education first.
Right,
So
right.
yeah. Okay. Well, that on a much different note, Twitter announced on Friday that they're going to stop taking action against the spread of 2020 election lies. And they said that right when YouTube removed a Republican congressman's campaign ad because it included the 2020 lies. So this is from a CNN report by Daniel Dale, and a Twitter spokesperson named Elizabeth Busby told CNN on Friday that their civic integrity policy still exists, but it's no longer being applied to lies about the 2020 election in particular, which is unfortunate because the lies about the 2020 election are very pervasive. And they said, well, the 2020 election's certified and Biden's been in office for more than a year. However, those lies have not gone away and they are playing a major role in American politics. And in fact, multiple Republican candidates in the 2022 primaries, including one running for the governor of Minnesota, are campaigning on lies about what happened in 2020. And a handful of these candidates have included these lies in their advertising. So Twitter is no longer enforcing them. It says, remember they used to label them and say this, take a look at another article, but they don't do that anymore. And, there's no more labels like they used to put on the former guy's tweets, and you're going to have to make up your own mind. And there's a lot of people who don't have a mind,
Yeah, well, that's not helpful.
No, it's really not helpful. I think that's really, a bit scary.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is not scary, but I decided to start sharing some musical ideas that I've been playing around with.
Play something.
Well, you can go check out my Instagram for it. So I've been posting some as Instagram Reels. So I posted a couple of weeks ago, I posted one clip for hashtag Music Monday. I didn't think much about it, just, decided to try it. Went back in Instagram later that day, and I was astonished to see that it had like 3,000 plus views. Like, I don't have a huge following. I have almost like 500 people following me at DE Erickson. If you want to follow me on Instagram, we can push that number up a little bit.
I think of it as Dear Erickson.
But anyways, clearly, Instagram is favoring the Reels because they're in competition with TikTok. We knew that. Apparently, original music tends to do well, so good for me. But I'm like, after this experience, like, how does Instagram define a view? Instagram defines a view. Views are counted after 1 millisecond of play. They exclude replays, but 1 millisecond of play. Apparently, that's the same thing as TikTok. I haven't had the chance to do any marketing on TikTok, so I haven't really paid attention to that. But
a millisecond, Jesus.
A millisecond. What? That's meaningless. I mean, that's
that could be an accident.
That's just scrolling through your feed if you've got the sound on.
Yep. Oh my goodness. So I got a smile after that. Do you have anything else terrible?
I don't.
Okay, so Colbert, who's really on a roll lately, I have to say, but he had, I'll post the video. He had to take, Miller Lite's got a Super Bowl ad that will only be available in the metaverse, wherever that is. And that's exactly what he says, like, you're talking about beer I don't care about, that I'll never drink, in a place that I'm never going to go to, and you're spending all this money for people to not see your ad. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? So I thought that was pretty funny. And I just read this morning, 90% of people have absolutely no idea where the metaverse might be, nor do they care.
Well, well, speaking of metaverse, you've got some shiny new stuff.
I do, and this is something that Shelley Palmer is going to do, and he's going to run the Metacademy, and it is really to teach all about NFTs and blockchain and help people understand it and how it might be used in marketing. It's all going to be free, And you can sign up now at metacademy.xyz. And I'm sure that eventually it will have a charge, but right now it's going to be free. And, you know, a lot of people really do want to learn about this. And he's a very good teacher, I have to say. So I have another one. Do you have another one?
I have one, but I thought Metacademy would be about the metaverse, not NFTs.
No.
Okay, that's misnamed right there. You're doing your 2022 planning, marketing planning, I assume. Gentle listeners, Twitter has a planner that they've published. It's pretty good. It's a Twitter tips and tools, and meant for brainstorming your plans for 2022. They have best practices, how to align your campaigns with business objectives, setting campaign targets. Of course, there's plenty in there about Twitter advertising. It is an editable PDF, so you can use it. Yeah, you can use it to plug in stuff for your own campaign. So we'll put a link to that in the show notes for people to use.
So the other thing that happened this week is that the iOS 15.4 beta comes with 37 new emojis. There's a melting, peeking face. There's a troll, but there's also the ability to use Face ID with a mask, which is really kind of funny. And it has 37 new emoji that were first released last fall, and the Unicode organization officially finalized the update. And you know, when you count all the variations, like the different skin colors and everything else, there's 838 new characters. And so there's a peeking eye, there's heart hands, there's a person with a crown, there's a low battery, there's x-ray, there's somebody biting their lip, pointing fingers with all different skin colors, and lots more. So I have a screenshot in the show notes.
All right, that's all awesome. This is another tool that we talked about influencers. So here's an influencer tool for you. FYPM. It stands for FY Pay Me. Yeah, so it is basically, it's the glass door for influencers. You have to sign in order to gain access. You have to basically do a review as an influencer, do a review of a brand that for whom you've worked with. And
case study.
I think just a review, like did they pay on time, were they fair, that kind of stuff. So there you go. We'll put that link to that in the show notes.
Oh, cool. So I got a couple projects. I finally wrote a blog post, and it was inspired by how much of the content on the internet just sucks, you know? And so I just offer some simple online tips for writing tips for creating content that people not only will read, but can read, you know, using subheads and using bulleted points and shorter sentences. And so I just thought there was a need for that. I was inspired by stuff I saw. And then I ghost wrote an article on how the IRS uses social media to find crypto tax cheats. And I find this hilarious. There's a guy, there are several people on Twitter who brag, I just got a Maserati. I just got, you know, a country house. And then apparently they'll go on their taxes and they'll say, you know, I have low income. And the IRS is watching. They're watching on every platform. And not only them, but Homeland Security, everybody and their dog in the government is watching what you say on social media. So pay attention, guys.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if a bunch of those people are fronting. They don't really have a Maserati. They don't really have a beautiful home. Yeah, because they're posing in front of somebody's Maserati and somebody's beautiful home.
Crypto's been good to a lot of people, I gotta tell you.
Yeah, there was just a story about a guy who was Wonderland. Is that a crypto? That's a crypto platform who
not that I know.
Just a Ponzi scheme. Bunch of people lost a bunch of money.
Oh, there's a huge amount of fraud, and there's a huge amount of stupid people who fall for it. I mean, you should not, until you understand what you're getting into, you should not get in, period. Same as the stock market, same as anything. You should not put money into something you don't fundamentally understand. And the whales, the people who control the majority of all of these markets, you know, they're in control, they're manipulating it, and you're going to get screwed if you're not paying attention. It's that simple. But anyway, I got a little quick pro tip. Google is now offering day domains, .day domains. So Google Registry, which I didn't even know there was, is they have .day top level domains, and you can bring attention to any day. You could be like David's birthday or your wedding, or you know, a nonprofit's you know, Alzheimer's Day or whatever. And for a mere $3,500 now through February 1st, you can purchase a .day domain, and then for whatever bizarre reason it will be $12 a year to renew it, but they'll be publicly available for that base annual price.
So
Money.
Festivus Day.
Yeah, you know, I mean, if you're a corporation, that's not that much money, but if you know, I'm not going to put my birthday up there for $3,500.
Not at all. All right,
but it is March 13th if you want to celebrate.
There you go. Nice. With that said, then we'll anticipate celebrating that, and then the time comes. But let's wrap this up. We've got social audio spending for 2022 for some stats here. This is from HubSpot, who did a survey of 1,067 global marketing professionals working in B2B and B2C companies to determine what trends they leverage, the channels they use, their plans for 2022. Put a link to it so you can see all of the results in the show notes. But this is audio specific. 83% of marketers plan to increase their investment in Facebook Live audio in 2022. 57% plan to increase their investment in Instagram Live, and I included that because Instagram doesn't have an audio only version. So there you go. 79% of respondents plan to increase their investment in Twitter Spaces in 2022, and 65% of respondents report that live audio chat rooms like Twitter Spaces are one of the most effective formats on social media. So, you know, I've been bullish about audio marketing for a long time. More data to support my.
Yeah, that's very cool. And we really have to try doing Spaces. We'll have to do a test and then do the show there. You know,
Yeah.
Anyway, that brings us to the end of episode 370 of the Beyond Social Media Show. And to find us, all you do is search Beyond Social Media Show. And on our blog, we will have all the show notes and the videos that we talked about, and links to all the sites. And that will be at beyondsocialmediashow.com/370. And I am here with the ever charming David Erickson, who on Twitter is D Erickson, and on Instagram is DE Erickson. He blogs at e-strategyblog.com, and he's eStrategy on YouTube. I am BL Achman, and I am What's Next on Twitter. My long neglected blog that I finally posted on is what'snextblog.com. I'm What's Next blog on YouTube. My website's blachman.com. The show again is beyondsocialmediashow.com, and on Twitter we're at BS Media Show, and we hope you'll subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can listen to the podcast anywhere that you get your podcasts, and you can just tell your smart speaker to play Beyond Social Media Show and it will do it. And we are now doing the show every other week, and so we will see you in 2 weeks, same time, same bat channel.
Thanks for watching.